Hello, my name is Amina and I'm your decision-making specialist. And today is day 11, March 27th, 2020. And for 11 days, here I am, here you are, wherever you are, and welcome. And I just was off the telephone with one of my clients. I really like that they want to stay in touch and telephone is okay for them. We've been practicing for a while if they didn't feel well or for some reason couldn't come in, then we would have a phone session. So they're pretty well used to that part. What they're not used to are the circumstances. And today this one woman was talking to me and she said, I've been thinking about when the day finally comes and they turn us loose. What does that mean? And what happens? And what's been going on that's still going to affect us? And so we spent some time talking about that. And she said for her, and maybe it feels that way for you also, and once in a while I'm raising my hand, it feels that way to me. It feels like even though it's very familiar and I can remember it and it's not something that I'm forgetful about, it's like by the 11th day, I kind of have a new set of routines. I'm not saying that I'm totally comfortable with them or 100% glad that I've had this opportunity, because that's not true. What's true is I do listen to the news and I do hear about the number of deaths that are increasing and the number of infectious people that is growing and the lack of protection in the crowded hospitals and the uncertainty of what's going to happen with all of us. So I'm really aware of that. And meanwhile, we do have our day-to-day that we need and want to take care of. And in the middle of that, we do build routines and we do build new habits. So what happens when we've got these new set of habits and then we go out there where we had a different set of habits? How do they all fit together? What happens? Well, she and I worked for a while, and what we chose to do is to make a plan. Now that plan doesn't mean every little kind of detail is figured out or written down or carved in stone or any of those things. It just means that we took this time to do an assessment, to review what her new habits were and figured out what ones she wanted to keep and what old habits she might want to kind of just leave here on this side. And so we built an imaginary bridge. So there's what's going on right now, and then there's a bridge over that gap between now and then. And on the other side, in order to build our bridge, we're making a foundation, and that foundation is what she wants to have there in place when she crosses over. And what she decided is that she had actually began doing an exercise routine and she wanted to keep that. And then she said because she couldn't go out and just get ice cream and go to a restaurant anytime she wanted, that even though the paychecks were not coming in, she also was not spending as much going out. And she was actually being creative about what she already had at home to cook for herself and her family. And her husband's also a cook and a chef. And so he has been doing that too, of creating new ideas, new recipes. And they decided they wanted to take that creativity and the new foods and the new way that they used the foods they had instead of always going to buy something new every day. So they want to take that habit. There are habits in the way that they've began communicating with each other differently and being a little deeper and more real. And not that they were just on the surface of, how are you? I am fine. It's just that there's a new level of how both of them are feeling with everything going on, and they've been sharing that. And they want to take the time every evening to have our time. And so each of them can tell the other person what's going on. What things are they thinking about? What their dreams are? What they're concerned about? And how they're doing as a household, how they're doing as parents, how he's doing in his business, and how she's doing in her work. And so they're going to be sure that they schedule time, and that's what they want to take over there too. And so she had a list, and I said, all right, and what would you not want there? And she realized that there were some eating habits that she didn't like, that she had some really limited beliefs in the ways that she would put herself down, and she would criticize herself and compare herself. And she decided she wanted to stop doing that because it was getting in the way of her really being her. And she also had taken time to make connections with her sister. They weren't enemies, and they just kind of each went their own direction when they grew up, and they didn't really keep as much contact with each other. And she decided that she wanted to reach out, and they talked, and it was pretty awkward in the beginning because they didn't know what to talk about. And then they started talking about some things in their childhood they remembered, and then they brought it a little bit more forward and a little bit more forward until they started to be able to talk. It took a number of telephone calls, and it wasn't automatic, and it's not perfect. And she decided that she wanted to pack that in her box and take that over and continue her sister and her to get to know each other better, they are right now. And so there were a number of things. And then she decided that she wanted to talk with her husband about what he wanted to take over. And tonight she said she's going to talk with her two kids, see what they want to bring over. And she said they're probably going to look at me like I'm crazy. And you know what? I'm going to follow through on it, and we're going to talk this out. And what I've liked about this time is we've been thrown together without distractions, and we've become more of a family, not just four people that are going in different directions. And my husband and I drive the kids, and then we come back, and on and on. And she said, and I know when we get back out there that there are a lot of things that are going to be happening. I know that there's going to be time constraints, and we're going to get busy, and the business is going to grow, and my job's going to be there, and the kids will have school on the outside and their activities again. I know it's not going to be perfect. And I figure if I pack the things I really want and I go to the other side, even if I have just a few moments of each of those things that I'm treasuring right now in the middle of this, I'll have more of that than I had when I first started. So she has a plan. And my offering to you is, what if you had a plan? What are you doing right now that's different than you used to, that you would like to take over there when you build your bridge? Think about it. Get a list, write it down, be creative. And what it does is it lets you review who you are right now, where you want to go over there, who you want to be with when you're there, how you want to be, and maybe some changes that you would like to have over there to keep you going forward in that direction. So we're not talking about any kind of panic decisions or any kind of New Year's resolutions. We're talking about future ideas for growth, for standing firmly and boldly in your circle, and the future of writing a new chapter beyond where we are right now. So think about it. Write your story, write that chapter, make it one you want to live, and you're going to be really happy to share. All right, thanks for coming. I'll be back tomorrow, and I hope you're here. And if you would like, write some comments down below of what you want in your future. Write down anything that you would like me to talk about that your friends, your family, and you are thinking about right now where you are. All right? Thanks. I am really glad you came. I'm going to be looking for you. All right. Take care. Write that story. Plan what you want on the other side of the bridge. Take care. Bye for now.